Hey, it's the girl K Did. Come back out to you one more time. Thank you for coming for our second part of our podcast. I hope you enjoyed the first part. I feel like now we're just kind of getting into the groove of the podcasting thing. This is our third season, and it's an it's an enjoyment to really have this podcast. I'm able to share people's stories, learn about different people, meet different people, and also be able to give out resources to people who really need it. There's a lot of resources in New York City compared to even other states, and a lot of times people don't even know about those resources because I don't know. It's just people are gatekeeping the information, but I'm here not to gatekeep. I'm here to give you the information, give you the tea, as they say, about different things are out there for you can help you and your family. So I hope the information can help you. I hope the resource packet down below will be able to help you also to be able to keep your family from going into shelter. And if you're already in shelter, help your family get out of shelter and help you after shelter. So sit back and relax and enjoy the next couple of minutes of conversation. Thank you. And also, almost forgot, follow us on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The link tree will be down below. Bye.
It's important to have a support system. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have, me, I have my mom and my 6 siblings.
Oh, that's a
and
lot.
My husband. So they all would help me come through. If I needed someone to talk to, or I needed them to pick up my son for a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just too much. So at least everyone did come through for me and help me out. But definitely having a support system makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? And even if you have just that one friend that's always there for you to help you with anything, even if you need a glass of milk, anything, just, what I'm saying? Simple things like that, So thank God I did have a big support system. And my husband was very supportive because there were times that we were just like, you just want to go. They want to give up, leave the shelter, and you know what? Let's just sleep in the car because we don't have to deal with no drama, no people, and they were always asking for documents every week, and
oh my God, it's so annoying. It changed from last week, I promise you. Not even every month, they want. Come on.
Yeah, every week it was like, oh, can I get your income? I'm like, I just gave you that last week. My income didn't change. I just gave you my pay stub. Like, why can't
I didn't become Oprah overnight? I promise you, it didn't happen. You would have saw it.
Exactly. Like, for real. Like, it was a lot though. It was definitely stressful. But I'm happy that we got through it. And we just kept going, and we're like, you know what? We know that we're gonna make it. We're gonna get out of this storm. The sun's gonna come out. There's gonna be light at the end of the tunnel. We're gonna make it happen, and we did. And this was actually my second time being in the shelter.
Oh, really?
As an adult, because the first time I was pregnant with my son. I was 4 months pregnant with my son, and I was there for a couple months. So when you're pregnant, they put you in a woman's shelter with other just females, and other females. Some of them were pregnant, but they put you in I was in in a 3-bedroom apartment. So it was just like the kitchen, the bathroom, and then 3 rooms, and then every female had their own room, and some were pregnant, some weren't. And I got what happened? They kicked me out actually because of curfew, because I went there real late, and they had kicked me out. At that time, I was like, I'm done. I don't care. I'm leaving. I was like, I'm done. At that time, I was about to graduate with my bachelor's degree from Rutgers, Newark. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do a fair hearing. I'm leaving, and I just left. I didn't go back after that. And then until January 2020, that's when I went back with my son and my husband. But we got through it.
There's a couple of things. A lot of times, people who have been in the shelter, sometimes a lot of time, well, from the numbers that I remember exactly, a lot of people are repeat offenders. They do go back second and third and fourth time. I hope that does not happen to you. I hope it doesn't happen to me.
No, it's not. I'm gonna make sure it don't happen again. I'm gonna make sure. I'm make sure my rent is paid, even if I can't pay my credit cards. But as long as my rent paid, I'm gonna make sure that's paid first, because I'm not going back. I can't. That was traumatizing. That was a headache. That was just a nightmare living in it. And also, to be honest, I feel like the caseworkers, they really didn't help. Like, I had to do everything on my own, like do my own research, find my own resources. I would I would call 311 to get information, because to be honest, is like, they're like, here, you need a voucher, but you need this and that. And if you don't have the other, then you don't get it.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, if you make too much, we can't help you. So I was doing everything on my own. They
You're
really
stuck
didn't.
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, and like to me, I sometimes just feel like the system is just created to make you fail because just because we were making a little bit more money, we should have still been able to get a voucher and get help. And then, usually a caseworker will give you a list of apartments. They wasn't doing that. They like to
Most
me, I
shelters, I
just
feel
felt
like don't
like
do that. I've been
they
supported
don't.
for shelters.
They really don't. They don't. They want you to do it on your own, and it's like, but that is your job. You're supposed to help me find a place to get out of here, And to be honest, the caseworkers I had in the Brooklyn shelter, they didn't help me. It was just do this yourself, do this, do that, and I'm like, okay, but they really weren't helpful. And then some of them had attitudes. You could tell that they didn't like their job, and it was like, why are you giving me attitude? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like I'm already at the lowest of the barrel. Like, why are you trying to make me feel lower? Like that's another thing I know. It's like they don't know how to speak to the residents that live in the shelters. Like they always have an attitude and sound a little disrespectful. And it's like, why you gotta do all that for? You could be in my situation too next week. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I felt like they felt like they were better than us, and you can't talk down to people like that just because, we don't have a place at the moment, but that's all temporary, it's not forever, but I did notice a lot of the workers, the way they would talk to people, their tone, they were nasty. They're very disrespectful. And I'm like, listen, if you don't like your job, you can find another job if you don't really want to be here and deal with us.
That's true. It's a lot of different things. I'm not taking up for the people who work there. Some people just don't like their job. I think it's a different category of people. Some people have been there all their life, and this is all they know. They're not moving from nowhere. And those people, they suck. I'm just saying, you guys suck. If you're listening, you suck.
Yeah, it's true. It's truly true. They need to learn how to talk to people and work with us.
Is other people who do it because they need the money, but it's still not enough because and the problem is also with nonprofits and shelters and just things like in that sector, they don't get paid as much money as they should for the work that they're actually doing. Because you can imagine a one person working with 20, 30 families, depending on how big the building is. Because some buildings are smaller than some are larger, especially with everything happening right now. Sometimes one caseworker is doing two caseworkers' work, which is not fair. If you're going to do that, pay them for what they're worth. Another thing is, they're paying them so low for some of these people. Because I've talked to a caseworker. She's been on the podcast before, and she was in a shelter. She's in a caseworker in her shelter, helping people there do their job, and she's not even getting paid for that to help her out. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. That means you're not paying people enough to even survive in New York City.
Exactly.
And people in there just not getting paid in general if it's just so much. Some people just need to leave. Some people just don't need to be because anything with customer service, just typing at home. That's your job. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Anything with people is considered customer service work because you have to be with the public and talk like that. You need to know how to act and treat people. But the problem is also people are not getting paid what they deserve and what they're worth. And especially nowadays where bread is expensive, eggs are expensive.
Eggs is $8. Like
you need
rent,
to be able to pay for that.
Rent is like $3,000. Like you need 3 jobs.
A box.
It's sad. Like it's sad. Like the way things are in New York. Like it wasn't like this back in the day, and now it's like you gotta hustle. You gotta have a side hustle. You definitely have to have a side hustle. Yeah, you do. You really do. You got a catering business. I know some people they have catering business. They cook from home and they selling food. They selling jewelry. Or they even making like little mugs and putting nice stickers on. Like, listen, a lot of people have different side hustles, and you have to because in New York it's just everything keeps going up. Everything keeps going up, going up.
New York, though. I think if we live in our bubble, we think it's only New York. It could be Oklahoma. They stuff is expensive too. Rent is going up, and the minimum wage for those states is not even that high compared to New York. I think New York and some other states is like $15. You know,
it's 15 now.
And we need to be 25 at this point. If our eggs are costing $8, we need to be $25 an hour.
It's true.
Already, that $15 already gone with that one egg with that $8.
Yeah,
let's do the math. Like
it's true.
Like
the milk, everything. Yeah, it is.
For something else. What if your kid want a piece of gum or a piece of some chips? Chips back in my day,
they were 25 cents.
Now chips is costing 75 cents to $1 for a bag with most people.
Yes.
The audacity.
And then you open a bag of chips and it's only like 5 chips.
Wow. As you taste the goodness, it's done.
Yep.
I'm like, what's going on? So if something needs to change,
Yeah,
we need to
definitely.
go down. And I know it's not saying like, there's a lot of different things. There's war over here happening. There's people don't think that COVID's over, but it's still happening, but it's not as
Yeah,
big and upscale and out there in the news. There's probably a lot
definitely.
of things happening, but they don't put it on the news as much as before, kind of thing. There's a lot of things with the thing about people have to pay people what they're worth or don't have them on staff. That sounds bad because people need jobs, but pay them what they're worth. They cannot survive.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to pay people what they're worth. What I want to take away from this also is that Ashley has a job. Two of
Yeah,
them
I'm
have
a family
family
worker now.
household. They both have a job, and they still
Yeah.
couldn't afford it. Do you see it as a
Yeah,
problem? Like, it's not.
exactly.
And she had a bachelor's degree. It's not like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, she dropped out of high school, had 5 kids, living on the system. No, she had job, education, and she's still struggling. What does that tell you? When you're a child, they tell you to dream, go to college. But back in the day, it was like, just get an associate degree. You're good to go. You can do all
yeah,
these things. Now they're like,
definitely. Right. Yeah.
you need a doctorate in
That's
zoology just to survive. Like, and you're still struggling.
Oh, it's true. And I really do not want to go back to school. And that's why like we started the business because I'm sorry, like to do research papers and homework and exam.
And
I'm not, I can't. I won't be able to deal with that. I really would not be able to deal with that. I can't. I do not want to go back to school and get more loans, have more debt. No, I can't. This business got to come through. It has to.
My 20,000 is still not forgiving it for nobody. So I need to not go back right now. Well, I don't plan to go back anyway. I got my bachelor's. I'm good to go. I don't want no more. I'm not even using the degree. Well, technically, if I went to school for theater arts, if y'all care, but so I guess I might be using the degree because I'm talking and I'm always in front of cameras or something like that. So maybe I'm using my degree, but really I'm not.
Yeah.
But, it's just it's a lot, and some people out here don't have no degree,
also,
and they're making a lot of money. So
yeah, it's true. And I feel like with this generation, and now to be honest, you don't even need to really go to college. You can learn anything on YouTube. You could just do your own research and learn anything. For example, I didn't know how to change a flat tire. I just YouTube, and that's how I learned. Nobody taught me. Like, now in this generation, you can learn anything you want. You just gotta know how to use the internet and other resources. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna tell you, also, now I don't know if you heard the new thing. Now they're about to start bringing fake chicken to the grocery stores.
Right.
I'm about to go vegan. Like
I heard about the fake food in general. So
about to.
Right.
That's just crazy.
I'm about to go back to Jamaica just for a quick second, just get some chicken. If I need some
for real, right? Go get some jerk chicken.
They always fresh down there.
For real, like.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy the world we live in.
It is. It's a lot. And I'm not gonna come on here and say, guys, don't go to school, don't do it. Some countries they do like more of like intern / school, so they kind of start a little bit in high school. Some high schools here, like example my old high school, they had like nursing program when you was in high school, so you got like a little thing when you after you left. Some high schools in certain countries do that, and then when they have college, they have more experience, hands-on. So it's not like book as experience / learning. But I think for certain people, that's much better because people learn different ways. But also for certain jobs, you don't really need, I think. But if you want to be a doctor and lawyer, you have to go out there, baby, and go to
definitely,
school. The big dog, like stuff. Go to learn the law. You need to learn different things for your state because usually laws for each state because each state has different laws. You need to learn those things. If you're gonna be a doctor, I don't want you cutting me open if you don't know what's connected to what. You need to go to school for that,
Yeah,
but if you just want to be something simple, example, probably a mechanic, I'm not saying you should. I think it's more of like a trade mechanic.
Yeah, trade.
Go as long and maybe do more hands-on and probably go a little bit on YouTube University and learn some stuff. Like I feel like certain things shouldn't be as strenuous because I don't see the point of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying my whole college experience was like a dub. I honestly didn't learn much in there. I was school for I feel like I did all that in high school anyway, and I only did it, mind you, a year in high school of it. Most people had 4 years of it compared to me. But wow. So I did it in college. I have a bachelor's degree and not using it, but I made a lot of, not say friendship, acquaintanceships, and I had experiences. I could say I feel like I went into debt for experience, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We went out the country, we traveled. I was on the team, I was in choir, so I could say I had experience of it all. So if I feel like I didn't have those experiences, I'll be like, maybe not. And I only did a year and a half, and I finished the rest of it in Queensboro, which is in Queens. And I did my first 2 years of school was free. So imagine if I did all 4 years in the university. I would have been done. I would have been debt, but not going in small debt. So it works out. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna say, oh my God, don't go to school. If that's what you want to do to learn more about what you want to do it. Do what's best for you. But just don't go in too much debt for it, because you see people not getting forgive right now for what they got.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm for school if you want to, and it works for you. I'm not gonna push school down your throat either. That's not what I'm here for. But I want to ask you a little bit more about your shelter experience, like how it was in the shelter and what things might have. Because you told me about the caseworkers. Tell me more about the residents and your experience, and also tell me what kind of voucher, if you got a voucher in the shelter or not.
So because of our income, they didn't give us the City FEPS voucher. They didn't give it to us. At that time, what happened, she said that if we wanted help with the security deposit, she was gonna have to do an inspection of the apartment that I got approved from. And I'm like, listen, I don't have time for that. Like, because I think she was gonna do an appointment. She was saying, oh, I could be available in 2 weeks. It don't work like that. They already told me, when can I move in? I don't have time for that. So I just said, you know what? I don't need it. I already saved up my money. We have the security. We have the first month rent. So we're good. Like, I don't need none of your help. Like, I just felt like it shouldn't be like, I didn't know that they had to do an inspection before you take the apartment. Like, to me, that's just more time consuming. I don't have time for that. I really don't. Like, my whole thing is, it was a brand new building, a luxury building, brand new. Like, nothing is old, everything's fine. So like, compared to where we was at, you know, it was a lot of mice and dirty. Like, trust me, we were going to a better situation. You know, I really didn't understand why she had to do an inspection before I get the apartment, before I move in. And I was just like, you know what, miss, just forget it, because I'm leaving on December 31st. I'm leaving out that door. I'm not coming back, and I'm moving in. So I don't need none of your vouchers or your help. And that was my situation. Like, everything was, if I was trying to get any kind of help, it was, oh, you don't qualify. You don't qualify for this because of your job and how many hours. And it's just a headache. Everything was this, that, and it's just, at the end of the day, like, I don't understand why they even do like an income thing with a voucher. Like, everyone should be able to get a voucher no matter what, especially when you're working, because that shows that you can pay the rent.
Right.
But with them, I don't know, the system is backwards.
I think it's more about the money, they say, and if everybody got a voucher, they would probably be more broke than we are. But I think they should have like an income, especially for certain states, like I say New York, Chicago, LA, bigger places like those. I think should have, it shouldn't be, to a like example, 50,000 is probably not, it's not enough for New York City. For one person, they making it. They you know, it's like everything's expensive. I think they need to put it properly for the income for that particular city, and then give out vouchers based on that. But I think they don't want people to take advantage of it, because that's a problem sometimes. We might think like, oh, it's these things are so harsh, and the reason why they're harsh most of the time, they start out kind of, you know, good as a pilot. Most programs start out as a pilot program to see how it's gonna work. People come in, because some people don't understand. Good people, there's bad people. And bad people always make things change for the good people who are doing the right thing. They come in and they scam things. They lie about things. They put it in. That's why when they say, when you do a food stamp thing, or for NYCHA or all these public assistance kind of things, if we find out that you lied about it, we'll give you a fine and put you in jail, because it was somebody out there, I promise you. It was Aunt Shirley out there saying, I'm not working, but she has 5 jobs and a house in Barbados and one in Long Island.
God, wow.
So you have to think about that. Like, I hate it too, because I don't qualify for a lot of things and I don't make that much money. So I feel like that, you know, that should be up. But also the reason they did it, because some people are honestly not taking jobs because they're like, oh, I can get these things. So sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to say no to certain jobs depending on if I didn't have childcare. So that's one thing, because it's too early, or if they didn't pay me enough. If I think I'm gonna get more money from the system than my job, I'm taking the system over a job. Because before I was making $15 an hour, they said, and I mind you, I was working 20 hours a week. $15 an hour, 15 hours an hour, 20 hours a week. And they said I was almost making too much for that. And it's 2 of us. Wow. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
They're going to cut off my daughters for school. School stuff's going to go low. Rep part not going to get paid. So it's like, you got to think about it. I think also like that for certain things. It's like everything I feel like has a zone and lane to go in. So if you're making $20 an hour, 21, I think that's more sense to get off the system and do that, because that makes more sense to me. And if you have kids, and probably I think also childcare, how much is childcare, and if you can afford it, even on $21 an hour? Because that's honestly, when you think about childcare nowadays, $600, $700, $800. You might stay in the system anyway until you get a job with $25 or $30 an hour. Just even like, it sounds so crazy. I think people think that, oh, people stay in the system because it's fun. It's not. It's not.
It's never enough. It's never enough. It's true.
And it's weird. It's a whole thing. I feel like it's a lot of intersections of everything, and it's a weird ordeal. But I'm surprised you couldn't get soda, because usually people with higher incomes could get soda and move in.
And yeah, I don't like, that's another thing, because they did tell me about that one too. And then, but everything, it was always an issue, something with my income, where I don't qualify because it is that. And I was just like, you know what, just forget it. I'm done with the vouchers. I'm just gonna save my money and go. And that's what we did, because it was just too much. And that lady told me, oh, I need to do an inspection before you move. Miss, I don't have time for that. Like, by the time you go do an inspection, like, they're gonna tell me, oh, you can't move in. I was not gonna let nobody stand in my way, mess that up for me. Nope.
Right. That's why I don't understand, especially with how we did everything in the past couple of years. Why half of these inspections, they do inspections because they want certain things in the apartment. Like if you have a child with they want window guards, if you have a stove, they do certain inspections. Like it seems like
they want to make sure smoke detector.
But why is it not on Zoom? Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, exactly.
On Zoom. If I press the smoke detector and it beeps off, that means it's working. If you start from the beginning of the apartment, like save the address so they know that you're at the right place, you're not lying. Start from the beginning, and I can walk you through the house on a camera, on a phone, which most people have phones now. Babies have phones nowadays. So it's not like, I feel like we make things so much harder for ourselves for no reason. And because of that, instead of cutting through the red tape, people are in shelters longer than they need to be. People are in shelters right now, and they can't leave even though they have the apartment because of inspections. Can you believe that? See, you're lucky because you could afford to pay for the things by yourself. But there's a lot of people in the shelter right now sitting down because they can't pay for the 4 months rent, or not 4 months, but they usually do like
a security,
a security, and they do like 3 months rent. It's called one-shot deal.
Oh yeah.
So people have to stay in there because they want to get all these benefits because they can't afford it themselves. And it's good to get a kind of a kickstart into it. So you're lucky that you had the opportunity. But some people are in there like literally have to wait for inspection, wait for city FEPS. And city FEPS is a whole bunch of paperwork. Now I heard it's like more computerized a little bit, and it's a lot. It's really a lot.
It's a long process and a lot of documents. And I think I did tell the caseworker, oh, I have pictures of the apartment. And she was like, no, that's not good enough. I was just like, well, you know what? I'm out. Bye.
This is going to be good enough. I'm going to be moving. Sorry. You can have the bed for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was like, no, nothing can get in my way. Not even you. I got to go. It's time to go.
Thank you for coming to the end of our podcast. Thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for just sharing our information out to other people. If you have any comments or concerns, or if you need help for yourself or your family or somebody out there, please contact us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of our platforms, and we'll get back to you. Or you could just email us, to be honest. It might be simpler. And I'll be one of the people who will be contacting you back with information. So hope this podcast was enjoyable. And we'll see you next week with the last and final part of the podcast. Bye.